Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show how to use the Finger Loom, which Rainbow Loom sent me, I guess as part of being a Loom star and things like that, to give a try and see what I could do with it. I of course don't want to remake anything that's out there already when showing you how to use this. So I came up with these little flowers, which as far as I'm aware they are not there aren't any exactly like this out there right now, so I think it's cute. They're pretty easy to make. I'll show how to make it on the Finger Loom first in the tutorial, and then I will show how to make it on the Loom because it is pretty easy to make. So, but the point is to show the Finger Loom and just see what we can do with this. I had seen that they had the product coming out, and my first impression was that it was probably going to be kind of flimsy, but applying a lot of pressure to this, there isn't a whole lot of give to it, so it'd probably be like stepping on a Lego if you did. It'd hurt. But so it's actually pretty nice as far as being sturdy. Versatility definitely for younger kids doing simpler bracelets, or I guess you can try the flower out hopefully. But the only thing that I think that I have not enjoyed is just there's quite enough space in between the little points right here, but I think otherwise it's neat. It just takes a little bit getting used to because the width of these for your bands is wider than your pins, so you're getting kind of used to having the bands go on a certain way. You actually have to kind of stretch them around a little bit more for this, so it's definitely geared towards, I think, younger kids and getting just used to doing this type of activity, which is cool because I got to start somewhere. So, but my little flowers, it's 36 for the colored bands and then 4 bands for the center. So, and everybody kept telling me I should make like a happy food on this, so it's very tempting, but it would have been I think a little bit advanced for this size, so I came up with something different. I know a lot of people have already done their little reviews on these. It made bracelets mainly is all I've really seen on them, so I wanted to do something different, and I made a pretty flower. So we'll get started. 4 pins. We're first going to make the petals on the flowers, and it's basically a chain 3 on each one of the pins here. So I'm going to take one band first, put it across, but cross it. And then I'm going to take 2 bands, put it right on top of that, and then grab the bottom 1 band and flip that over the top of the pin so it sits in the middle. Push that down, so that's 1. I'm going to do this 2 more times for this petal. So I'm going to put a band straight across, flip over now the bottom 2, push it down, another 2 bands right on top of that, flip over the bottom 2. It's really hard not wanting to use a hook too, so I'll show you here too, like when you first start doing the petals you can kind of see through the side. You have the cap band and then there's 2 little bumps, and then the third one goes through everything, so it'll kind of give you a hint if you get lost on your count. So I'm going to push this down. I'm going to put my thumb on one side to hold the bands down, and on the other side I'm going to lift them up, take them off the pin, and bring them to the other side. So now it looks like this. We have 4 bands. I'm going to push this down, and on each petal, before we move on to the next one, you have the center cap band, that single band we put on the very first. You're going to grab that, and I'm going to hang on to the bands here, give it a pull, and that is going to go over the top of the same pin as well. So we end up having 6 bands on this pin. And we need to do that on each one of the pins around. So again, I'm just going to kind of move it and go around to the next side, or next little area here. So 1 band starting, put it on the pin, cross it, then 2 bands on top of that. You don't have to cross the second ones. Flip over the bottom one on both sides. And take 2 more, put them on the top of the ones we're still working on. Flip over the bottom. And then 1 more time. It does get congested in here, but hopefully it won't be too bad. So now I have my cap band and then the 2 coming up, and the third one goes through the whole thing. I'm going to do the same thing I did before with transferring it over. So I'm going to put my thumb here to hold on to these so they don't fly up. I'm going to grab the other side, bring it over to this pin, push this down, and find that center cap band. Kind of give it a little tug just to stretch it out, and then put that over the top of the pin as well. So far it's not too bad. I say the last one we do is it's definitely congested in there, so you have to keep count of your bands that you do, because you can't really look on the side to see where you are. So again, this time we're going to go across the next one. So 1 band crossed, and 2 bands right on top of that. Grab the bottom band, single band, and then when you get over here, this is where it gets a little congested and confusing, because this is our bottom petal right here, and we have that single band, and then there's the 2 bands we put on last. So we just want the single band to go over. And if you need to, hold your finger here to keep these down so you know where you are until you can go to the next petal. So that's 1. We need 2 more. So 2 bands still. Across. Flip over one side, the bottom 2, and on the other side be the bottom 2. And then 1 more time on this same pin. So the bottom 2 on this side. It's definitely important to kind of keep your order of the bands as they go down the pins. So now we want to bring the petal over to this pin, so I'm going to put my thumb on this side, grab those top 2 bands, bring them over, push that down, and again find that cap band and bring it up, stretch it out a little bit, and then bring it up to on top of the pin, and push all that down. And then we have 1 more to go. So single band, crossed, and then 2 bands. So definitely keep your eye on the order, so we know we're putting 2 bands on top. So I know that there's that single band that's going over first. So I know there's 2 bands here, and I'm going to be putting 2 more bands right on top of that. So I know that I want these middle 2 bands. It definitely helps to have some fingernails. Or a hook if you're going to cheat. So, which is tempting to cheat at times, to make it a little easier on yourself, but I want to do it all with my fingers because it's the finger loom. So then again, another one right on top of that. And this will be the 3rd one. So flip over the bottom 2. You can see I mixed them a little bit. So we have that now. So I'm going to bring it over to this pin, so I'm going to put my thumb on that one. Bring it down, grab the 2 bands on the other side, bring it over, put it on top. And find that cap band, that single band we wrapped first, give it a little stretch, and then put it on top of the pin. So hopefully that's the worst of it, but those are our petals. So next is we're going to put on the bands for the center. These will be single banded, and we're going to go kind of diagonally along the outside. So one band, put it on a pin, and we actually want to double it. So like that, or you can try doubling it in your hand and putting it on like that. Whatever way is easier. But just one band and you're going to double it around all the diagonal sides. So you kind of end up with something that kind of looks like a shamrock. So like that. And now, two bands color, petal color. One across this way, and well, it's two bands, two across this way and two across that way. So let's make the cross like that. So now we'll start doing some flipping, and we're almost actually done. So I'm going to flip over the middle center bands first. So just grab the yellow ones, or whatever color you made the center of your flower, and flip those over. And just kind of move them around so they kind of get loose from each other. The front side usually looks fine. Oh, they can't see it right now, but so like that. And we still have our top two bands from that cross we put on, and then we have all the petal bands. And now what we're going to do is flip over all the petal bands. So we'll grab all of them, flip them over the top. Make sure not to lose the top two bands. So if you need to flip over a few of them at a time, just so you don't kind of put so much faith that these aren't going to go anywhere. We get those up over the top. All the way around. So now it kind of looks like a big bunch of stuff in there. And we have two bands all the way around. So again, two more bands across the top in a cross pattern. It is really weird using this after using the loom and stuff. So cross pattern. And what we're going to do is flip over the bottom two all the way around. And your flower will not come out the bottom, it just kind of gets stuck in there, so don't worry if that's not happening. So now what we're going to do is, it doesn't really matter if I start across here or across here, but what we're going to do is I'm going to take the two bands on one side, bring them over to the other side. Now I'm going to take the bottom bands from that other pin and bring those back across. And I'm going to turn it and do it to the ones that we haven't done yet. Same thing though. Take the bands on one side, bring them over to the other side, and then grab the bottom bands and bring them over to where we pulled the other one from. So it's kind of like just a big cross for closing off the bottom of the flower. So now here's what we did last. So I'm going to turn it again, so that the bands that I'm going to be working with are underneath the last cross ones that we did. So I'm going to grab them, pull them over, just like we did before, and then instead of taking the bottom bands and bringing them over to this pin over here, we're just going to take them and flip them over the top. Then grab these bands again and pick a pin on the right or left, doesn't matter, and just bring these over on top. Then again, flip over the bottom bands and grab those bands again and bring them across to the last one. flip over the bottom bands. And now, grab those bands, pull out, pull tight, and we have a flower. Like so. So not too hard, hopefully. Takes a little getting used to this. And I didn't even use this to take it off the loom, but I figure I can take all of my flowers that I made so far and use the little clip end here to attach them to. I made one with the cotton candy bands too. Pretty. So, nice little bouquet. So, all in all, I definitely think this is would be useful for teaching kids, young kids, how to use these. But of course, how young is up to the parents' discretion for using rubber bands and things. But so you can do some different things on it that not everyone else has done before. Some very pretty things, I think. So, depending, it should be out later this month, I believe. Probably by the time I have this tutorial out, it'll be out. So, I guess it depends on how much they are and all that good stuff, and pick one up and just kind of have one to carry it around with you. And you can make, like I said, some pretty interesting things. So, and of course, hook this on something. Now, like I said, I am going to show how to make this on the loom for those of you who aren't going to buy a finger loom or just want to make these flowers now because you like them but can't get the four pin thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by making the petals. So whatever petal color, it's going to be 2 bands, and we're going to put them on the loom, making kind of a 3-chain double. So like that. And take 1 band and just wrap it around 1 time for a cap band. And I'm going to repeat that on here, kind of in the area, 3 more times. So still 2 bands, go up 3, and then 1 single band for a cap band 1 time. Same thing again over here. 2 bands up 3, single band, and then I'll do 1 more right here. And a single band. So I just have a bunch of 3-chain with a single cap band. So I'll take my hook and we're going to loom these out. So you go through the cap band, grab those bottom 2 bands, pull them up and over just until you get to the end. And then do the same thing for the other ones. Through the cap band, and loop them over. And that has a it's better. The finish is coming off that hook. Too much looming. But just get these little chains loomed up. So like that. So I'm going to work down here, on the other end of the loom here, where I have the little diamond shape here. So I'm going to grab this first one, open end, pull it off the loom. I'm going to take it, and what's on my hook is going to go on this pin right here, second pin up in the center. I'm going to give it a little stretch. Then that cap band, which is this last single band, is going to go over the pin as well, like that. And then come back up here, grab the next ones, and put these right here. Stretch it out a little bit, get that cap band, and put that onto the pin. And point these all towards the center of the little diamond shape. So grab another one. Stretch it out, get that cap band on, slip this towards the center, and the last one, that one down here. Grab that cap band and onto the pin. So now we have that. So now what we're going to do is take our center color, and these are going to go doubled around the 4 pins. So one band, double it, and just go around. Like that. So push these down, and you're going to want 2 of your petal color, and we're going to stretch them across. So 1 and 2. And now we'll take our hook and we're going to flip over our, first starting with the center color. So all my yellow on this pin will come over the top, and the same thing for the others around. Like so. I seem to get messed up a little bit more in the center than what I did them on the finger loom, but they all even out, so it works out alright. So we still have the top 2 bands, and then we have all the petal bands. So now it's time for all the petal bands to go over the top as well. So go in and grab those. You can do a few at a time if you want, or just grab them all and bring them over the top. Make sure that your band that now has our center on it does not pop off. So bringing all those over right up to the top. It helps to hold on to the center with your finger and push them down. And also try not to twist them. On the finger loom they didn't really have anywhere to go, but on the regular loom they can twist around. You don't want your petals on backwards, so you want to kind of stay in the inside. Like so. So you still have only 2 bands all the way around, and kind of that big mess in the center. So again, we're going to make a cross on the top. So 2 bands, go across one way, and then go across another way, or the other way, like so. So then flip over the bottom 2 on all the pins. Like that. And now we're going to do that weird crossing over thing. So I'm going to start probably the bands that are underneath here. Grab one side, bring it over to the other side, grab the bottom bands, bottom two bands, bring them over. And I'm going to pick either top or bottom here, grab the two bands, pull them across, keeping some pressure on your flower so it doesn't pop up. Then we'll grab those bottom two bands, they're going to come over and back to the other side. Like that. So now, starting on one of these two pins that are underneath now, I'm going to pick a side, pull it back over, and this time instead of grabbing the bottom bands and pulling them over to the pin on the other side, I'm just going to grab the bottom bands and flip them over the top. And I'll take the top bands and I'm going to pull them up to the top up here, I think. Like that. And again, flip over the bottom bands and grab these again. This time hold on to your flower. I'm going to bring them down to the other pin. And then last time, I'm going to take the bottom bands and flip them over. So now all I have left is the kind of band that we've been moving around. Grab that, give it a little tug to pull it tight, and we have another flower on the loom. So, both ways. They work fabulous. And I'll add these to my collection here. I can shove a lot of bands on here, I guess. So both made the same way on the loom or on the finger loom. I actually think for this flower the finger loom was a little bit easier, although just kind of more steps. Seemed like more steps, but... So, pretty little flowers made on the finger loom or on the rainbow loom. So, I'd probably add one of these to my collection of looms and monster tails, I guess. So, keep an eye out. Like I said, they should be out before too long in the stores. I know my Michael's, which is where my rainbow loom is sold, had a sign there saying new product coming soon, so I don't know if that was referring to bands or to the finger loom. So, hopefully it'll be out soon for everybody. But I hope you like my little flowers. Thank you for watching. I definitely appreciate it. I will have more things for you soon. It's kind of a different thing for me to do one of these things, so or a little review on these. But I hope you enjoyed it and that you like my flower. And I will definitely have more things to come soon. And if you want to share flowers with me, or if you make a lovely little bouquet with these, you can share them with me on my Instagram, which is at Crafting Fantastic. Or on my Facebook page, which the link is underneath the video in the description. And then, of course, subscribing to my channel is the best way to know when I'm coming out with new things. So thanks for watching, and I'll have more for you soon.